Last spring, I watched my neighbor wrestle a brand new front tine tiller across unbroken clay. It bucked like a bronco, nearly dislocated his shoulder, and barely scratched the surface. He bought the wrong machine. Standing in the hardware store, the price tags make front tines look like a steal and rear tines look like highway robbery. But picking the wrong one will either waste your money or break your back. Let me explain the exact breakdown to ensure you never make his mistake, starting with the one you probably think you need. Understanding the mechanics. A front tine tiller places the engine squarely over the spinning blades. Those blades, or tines, are doing two jobs at the exact same time. They're tearing into the soil, but they're also acting as the wheels pulling the entire machine forward. You are relying entirely on the digging action for your momentum. This means if the ground is too hard, the tines just skip across the surface like a rock skipping on a pond. You have to constantly fight the machine to keep it grounded. A rear tine tiller completely separates the driving mechanism from the digging mechanism. The engine sits up front, resting its weight over a pair of thick tractor-style wheels. Those wheels are gear-driven. They propel the machine forward independently of what the blades are doing in the back. Behind the wheels sits a massive tiller box housing the tines. Because the wheels are pulling the machine steadily forward at a controlled pace, the rear tines can focus entirely on obliterating the dirt below them. Some even spin in the opposite direction of the wheels, forcing them to chew violently through whatever's underneath. You are dealing with two entirely different philosophies of earth moving. One is a lightweight multi-tool, the other is a localized bulldozer. Primary use and soil reality. You have to look honestly at the ground you intend to work. A front tine tiller is fundamentally a maintenance tool. It is built for soil that has already been broken in previous seasons. If you have an established vegetable garden and you need to churn last autumn's leaves and some fresh compost into the topsoil before spring planting, a front tine machine is exactly what you want. It mixes loose soil beautifully. It aerates beds that have settled over the winter. It excels at chewing up early spring weeds between your established rows. But if you point a front tine tiller at a patch of virgin lawn that has never seen a shovel, you are in for a bad afternoon. It does not have the weight or the mechanical advantage to tear through an established root system or heavy compacted clay. That is where the rear tine tiller becomes non-negotiable. A rear tine machine is designed for breaking new ground. It has the sheer mass required to keep the blades buried deep in the earth, and the driven wheels ensure it keeps moving forward even when the blades hit a buried rock or thick roots. If you are carving a brand new garden out of a grassy backyard, or if your property consists of concrete hard clay, a rear tine tiller will turn that solid ground into a fluffy, plantable bed in a single afternoon. It digs deeper, it hits harder, and it simply does not care what is in its way. User effort and the physical toll. Using a front tine tiller is a highly physical activity. Because the spinning blades are trying to pull the machine forward, your primary job as the operator is literally to hold the machine back. You have to lean back and drag against the handles to force the tines to stay in one place long enough to actually dig down into the dirt. If you just let go, the tiller will sprint across your yard on its toes. When you hit a rock or a hard patch of clay, the machine will violently bounce, and that shock travels straight up the handles into your wrists, arms, and shoulders. You have to wrestle it. You have to manhandle it. After an hour behind a front tine tiller, you will know you worked out. A rear tine tiller is an entirely different physical experience. Because the large wheels are driven by the engine, the machine basically drives itself. Your job is no longer to hold it back or push it forward. Your only job is to guide it. You lightly hold the handles, gently steering it left or right as it marches steadily down the row. The heavy weight of the machine absorbs almost all the shock when the blades hit something hard in the ground. You could theoretically walk behind a heavy-duty rear tine tiller with one hand on the grips while sipping a cup of coffee. The machine does the grueling physical labor. You are just the supervisor walking behind it. Maneuverability and garden layout. The physical size of your garden and its specific layout will dictate how frustrated you get with your equipment. Front tine tillers are incredibly nimble. They are lightweight, compact, and highly maneuverable. Because the tines are the pivot point, you can spin a front tine tiller around in a circle right in its own footprint. This makes them absolute perfection for tight, fenced-in gardens. If you have narrow paths, sharp corners, or raised beds that are close together, you can thread a front tine tiller right through them. You can till right up to the edge of a fence line or navigate carefully around existing bushes and mature plants without doing collateral damage. Rear tine tillers are the exact opposite. They are massive, heavy, and awkward. Trying to turn a rear tine tiller at the end of a row is like trying to parallel park a bus. They require a massive turning radius. You cannot easily pivot them, and you certainly cannot muscle them around a tight corner. If you have a small garden surrounded by a chain link fence, a rear tine tiller will be trapped. You will spend more time trying to turn the machine around than you will actually tilling the soil. Rear tine machines belong in wide open spaces. They are built for long, uninterrupted straight rows where they can just put their head down and work without needing to change direction every 10 feet. Price point and long-term value. The financial reality of this choice usually hits people right when they walk into the dealership. The price gap between these two categories is massive. Front tine tillers are highly accessible. You can easily find a very capable, reliable front tine machine for a few $100s. They are relatively simple machines with fewer moving parts, no driven wheels, and smaller engines. For the average homeowner who just wants to maintain a modest backyard vegetable plot, buying a front tine tiller is a sensible long-term investment. It pays for itself over a few seasons of spring prep and fall cleanup. Rear tine tillers require real budget. Because they require a much larger engine, a complex transmission to drive both the wheels and the tines, and significantly more heavy steel construction, they often start well over $1,000 and can easily push into the $3,000 range for premium models. If you're a casual gardener, that is a tough pill to swallow. This is why you really need to evaluate your long-term needs. If you only need to break up heavy clay or tear out an old lawn once to establish a brand new garden, and from then on you'll just be doing seasonal maintenance, do not buy a rear tine tiller. Rent one. You can rent a massive commercial grade rear tine tiller for a weekend, do all the heavy breaking, and then buy a cheap front tine tiller to maintain that exact same dirt for the next decade. The bottom line, your decision comes down to a very simple evaluation of your dirt and your space. Look closely at what you're asking the machine to do. If you have a small to medium-sized garden space, the soil is already loose from years of planting, and you need something nimble to mix in organic matter, the front tine tiller is your tool. It's affordable, easy to store, and perfect for the realities of established beds. But if you are staring down a massive plot of land, if the ground is packed solid and covered in thick grass, or if your soil is heavy, unforgiving clay, you have to step up to the rear tine tiller. Trying to accomplish heavy breaking with a front tine machine will only result in broken equipment and a broken body. Match the tool to the severity of the soil. That's how you win.